Hi, it's Mike from Inside the Magic, and it's that time of the week again. We're going to talk about Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 5. The title was The Door, and you know what that title meant by the end of the episode. Wow, what an ending. Really affecting origin story that we were finally given for Hodor after kind of being hinted at earlier in the season. So now we know that Bran, through kind of visiting and viewing the past, is oddly able to affect it and has already affected it because while he was warging into Hodor as they were trying to escape from the cave with the three-eyed raven, Brandon was watching Hodor in the past, and that mind meld connection that he had with him had this crazy effect where it made Hodor go into this seizure where he just kept saying, "Hold the door, hold the door, hold the door," reflecting what was happening in the present, and that became the origin of how Hodor lost the ability to speak, and that phrase just became seared in his brain, and that's all he kept repeating for the rest of his life until his life ended there at the end of that episode. So I thought that was really, really like moving and unexpected after they had hinted at giving us more to the Hodor story. I thought that was great and exciting, an exciting way for the episode to end. It was also interesting to learn that the children of the forest, those little green ladies, had created the White Walkers a long, long time ago, and now the White Walkers are, of course, a threat to everyone. So in a similar way to the Bran and Hodor thing, this is kind of a cycle that's coming back around on itself. You kind of make your own path, your own destiny, your own history with the choices that you make. I also really like the beginning of this episode, which is when Sansa met up with Littlefinger and talked to him for the first time since she was kind of almost kind of sold to the Boltons. And she got to kind of tell him off. Sansa told off Littlefinger and kind of pointed out what a terrible person he was being. And no one had really done that to Littlefinger in the course of this show so far. So that was really exciting to me to get to see that, because I love when things happen on this show that we haven't seen before. I also thought the play was really interesting, just to see how the world of Game of Thrones, Westeros and Essos, how the people in those worlds are interpreting, how they're misinterpreting the history, the very recent history of what's happened in their world. And you can see how, probably through rumor or through repetition of kind of misinformation, how people's sense of what really happened with Robert Baratheon's death and the succession of the line of the king there, how what really happened got twisted. It's also cool that Tyrion and Varys now have their own Red Priestess. It's interesting to me that we'll now have a Red Priestess on Jon Snow's side and on Daenerys Targaryen's side. So I don't know if those two will eventually come into conflict with each other, or if they'll join forces or whatever, but that's pretty neat. The big question for me is, where is everybody going next? Where is Bran gonna go next? If he's the next three-eyed raven or whatever, where is he destined to end up to become that person? So we'll see what happens next week. Thanks so much for joining me. Be sure to visit InsideTheMagic.net.